Hey guys, Jason here from Judas Rigs, and I wanted to go over the proper installation of these 5/16 or 8mm eye bolts and the 3/8 eye bolts. I've had a lot of questions about these. I offer all this hardware on my website, as well as these rigs. You can buy them drilled or undrilled. I can make these at any length and custom designs. I can roll any pipe from 3/4 all the way up to 2 inches. So let's get back to the eye bolts now. Usually what I offer is a 5/16 or 8mm eye bolt, depending on what I have in stock at that time, and I have all the hardware that goes with that. But I offer 2 washers, a lock washer, and a nut. If you're going to be removing a lot of these eye bolts, that's the configuration that I recommend. If you're going to do a permanent installation, I recommend a lock nut. I do not cut my eye bolts. I can upon request for an additional charge. And something else that was recommended to me at SUSCon is cutting these eye bolts and installing a what they call an Acorn nut on the top of these screws. What's great about that is you'll have less snagging. Cut them to length, put that on there, you can run right over it, no problem. So let's start with just a standard 8mm bolt. Basically, you're going to put one washer on the bottom. Slide it through the hole or whatever hole you drilled. You're going to put another washer on, a lock nut, and then you'll run this all the way down. And then what you'll take is a screwdriver. You can use a wrench or a socket, even a pair of pliers, but you're going to want to keep that straight. Now you can go horizontal or vertical with these, it doesn't matter. I've had up to 700-pound side load on these things. These eye bolts are rated for 800 pounds. They're all welded 3/16 stainless. But you're going to want to tighten that down. If you really want a good spec, I think it's about 60 inch-pounds that you would apply to that to get a good solid bite on it. But you know, a good tight on that. Now if you're installing the 5/16 with a lock nut, let me show you that a little bit. You're going to want to apply a little bit of oil to this. You can use non-toxic oil, silicone, lubricant. They're available at any hardware store. But the reason why you're wanting to do that, and you don't need the lock washer when you do this, you just need a washer on the top and the bottom. But what you're going to do is you're going to get the nylon lock nut, and that's a self-locking lock nut if you're not going to be removing these. Basically what you want to do is go into your bathroom and grab your girlfriend's toothbrush and put a little bit of oil on it. She won't mind. Rub that. It just takes a little bit. And all that's going to do is, what that's going to do is prevent friction as you tighten this thing down, because there is a lot of thread here. If you end up cutting this to length, you wouldn't have all this friction build up. You'll put that thing right on there. Tighten this down. And you'll be good to go. Same installation. I recommend doing these all by hand. A lot of people want to use like an air ratchet or a drill. You just get a better feel for it. If something's not feeling right or if it's binding, you can feel it with a ratchet or a wrench versus a drill or an air ratchet. And there you go. You can take some kind of rubbing alcohol and take off any excess residue that's left on that. And then you put your girl's toothbrush right back on the same place you found it, and she'll never know the difference. Alright, so we've had some questions about the 3/8/16 eye bolts. As you see, this is what I sell. I sell a 3/8/16 eye bolt rated for 1,200 pounds. Both these are rated for 1,200 pounds on the website. And you notice this is threaded. Well, I've had some people purchase some of these from me, and they're like, hey Jason, how do I get those perfect aligned like you did at SUSCon? Well, what I do is I take a 3/8 drill bit. I drill through the threads on this. This is not gonna affect the it's not going to affect your load rating at all on this. So basically, I drill a 3/8 eye bolt on through this, and then I take off 1/4 of an inch off that. So I literally cut 1/4 of an inch off this, so you can see the difference here between the two. Then I clean up my edges, and the reason behind that is so that I can put my eye bolt on the top. This is great for your carabiners to go through here, and then I'll slide this on the bottom. Now for this demonstration I'm not going to use a lock nut, but I always use a lock nut here on the bottom, a nylon lock nut. So you'll start these threads, and as you tighten it, you see it's going to be kind of off. You'll need 2 pair of pliers, or you'll need a pair of pliers for this one for sure. Put your screwdriver through the top, and then you grab it from the side, and I'll tighten it that way. And then when I get everything just kind of set up, I'll square it up. So, and I always want to have one thread coming off. So when you cut a 1/4 of an inch off of the eye nut, drill 3/8 eye through hole. And when you use a lock nut, it's a little bit thicker than this. You'll have just a little bit of a thread, one thread showing, which is good. It's sufficient enough. You'll be able to slide your rope through that, no problem whatsoever. It's not big enough for your finger. This is also the reason why I put this on the bottom and not the top, because you're going to want to be able to clip into this with your carabiner. And then if we're using an Acorn nut, I'll just do this real quick. When I'm using Acorn nuts, I'll take my 5/16 eye bolt. I'll put a washer on the top and a washer right here. And then I'll do what they call double nutting. Put one nut there, and then your Acorn nut. And you don't need much thread for this. You know, I recommend at least a 1/4 of an inch of thread. You can go up to a 1/2 inch because it'll countersink in there. So now you got that nice smooth surface on there, and that'll lock that sucker down. If you guys got any questions, please message me at on the website thekillerart.com or on Facebook. You can also hit me through LeJudas Rigs. So I hope this was a helpful video. Enjoy, please like it, and expect some new designs from me coming out this year. Thank you.